over and over. The moment seemed lodged in her brain, my mother-in-law told us later. She was struck by the simplicity of the predicament, the profundity of the call for help. Reporters interviewed the aide of the elderly woman who lived on the floor, the woman whose windowsill crumbled. Even in print, I recognized the sickened wonder in her voice, her newly dawning understanding of the malevolence and chaos of the world. It was like an evil force reached down.
We left our Easy Pass in the apartment. Stacy and I realized this only upon arriving at the mouth of the tunnel en route to the Weill Cornell ER. The gate fails to lift as we approach, and we almost plow through it. The man at the toll booth tries to reckon with us, incoherent and hysterical and blocking traffic. "Our daughter's been in a serious accident," Stacy yells to him. He peers behind us at the empty car seat, confused. "Where is she?" he demands. "She's with my mother," Stacy says. Cars honk as the pressure of the line builds behind us. "Please, she's in the hospital," I interject. "Please just let us go." He waves us on. "Just don't get in an accident," he calls into our window as the bar lifts. We'd received the phone call from Stacy's mother, Susan, only 20 minutes before. "Oh, Jayson, it's so horrible," she had said, her first words. The scenario she described was still sketchy. There had been 2 chunks of brick. There were paramedics on the scene. Susan was in the back of a second ambulance, and Greta was in the first, already en route to the hospital. Susan had been struck as well, in the legs. "Where is Greta?" I demanded. "She's up ahead," Susan said. "She's breathing on her own now. They told me she's breathing on her own." Her voice was fuzzy, disoriented, and we heard other muffled voices, paramedics demanding things of her. A male voice cut in behind her, asked Susan something sharply. I could tell from her faltering response that she was struggling to connect the dots. "Susan, please tell me," I said firmly and slowly. "Where did the brick hit Greta? Did it hit her in the head?" When I said the word head, I felt something break up in my voice, an elemental thing I wasn't familiar with yet. "It hit her in the head, yes," Susan said. I yelled this information over my shoulder to Stacy, who screamed instinctively. "My baby girl!" she cried, sobbing convulsively. During the eternal drive up the highway, neither Stacy nor I speak in specifics. She reaches over and grabs my palm, her voice trembling. "She has to be okay. She just has to be. There's no other option." We leave our car behind us in valet parking and run into the lobby. We reach the security guard, and I say it again for the second time. "Our daughter's been in an accident, and she's in the ER." I watch his face soften. I am already learning what happens when you tell people this news. "I'm sorry," he says, and waves us on. There is a visible trail of crisis in the ER entryway, a smear on time leading all the way up the hall, and I feel us walking through it. I hear someone to my left ask, "Are these the parents?" And some part of me registers the grimness of that designation. The parents. Up ahead, a paramedic waves to us urgently. We follow into a corner room, maybe 12 by 12, with a table in the middle and doctors and nurses crowding around it. In the center of it is Greta, stripped down to her diaper and pitifully tiny, her eyes closed and her mouth open. I watch as team members lift her arms and legs like she's a sock puppet. I remember seeing the upper roof of her mouth, the pearly islands of her teeth. I have no memory of the injury on her head. My mind either refuses to note it or has erased it. There are things you see with your body, not with your eyes. Stepping away, I feel something evaporate, a quantum of my soul, perhaps, burning up on contact. I am lighter, somehow immediately less me, as if some massive drill has bored into my bones, extracting marrow. I glance at Stacy, gray and motionless, in a hallway chair, and see the same life force exiting her frame. Susan is on a stretcher down another hallway, out of our sight. We wait. I take out my phone and call my parents on vacation in New Orleans. I try my mother's cell phone first. No answer. I leave a voicemail of some sort. I pace the length of the reception desk, try my father's cell phone. Voicemail. My brother. Voicemail. I have dropped through a wormhole, it seems, or fallen into a crack in time. My unaware family and friends are living above it. On their timeline, Greta is still fine. It is John, my brother, who finally picks up. I try to relay the seriousness of the situation.